3, 2, 1. We are back with episode 19 of the Dad's Psych Operation Dad. Almost said Dad's Do 75 Hard.
We're adults.
Be a throwback.
Technically.
This is such a short cord on this mic. Okay, there we go. So we're good to go.
Energy. Berry Dream.
Did you try it warm?
Yeah, I don't like it.
You don't like it warm?
Mm-mm.
I thought the warm tasted better than the cold.
You get to have it.
I need to bring you one tomorrow. I've got one, and I keep saying that I'm going to bring you one. I also have your shirt out there. Notorious.
Notorious.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
So it'll be good. So anyway, off of phase 1 this week. It's just been a nice week of not having to track and do these things. So what's this week look like for you guys? / how do you feel? All that good stuff.
REST. Rest.
Rest? You feel rested?
Yeah.
Nice.
I feel better.
I don't. For some odd reason, since we've not done, I haven't done the walks at night. But so like Saturday, I just went ham on. I did basketball in the morning, and then went and did volleyball, and then went and did softball, and then went and mowed the yard. But I had, because we've rested, we haven't done the extra stuff. I had so much extra energy. 8 o'clock, I'm laying in bed, and Kelsey's like, "How are you still awake?" And I was like,
"Cause I'm a toddler."
I was like, "I don't know, but let me take these 2 melatonin, I'll be out real quick."
I got those shrooms from the Arnold. Those little.
Oh, the lion's mane. Yeah, let's preface this with Adam is not microdosing. They're lion's mane like sleep mushroom, like a supplement. And Adam's not dropping.
Hey, I wanted to get our listeners' attention quick.
Yeah, you did. Adam's over here like, what's this song by Eminem? He's like, "You ate the whole bag." Oh man. Anyway, so I guess before we keep getting in. Shout out everyone on 75 Hard, crushing it. We got some listeners doing that. They end mid-June, so shout out them. No one else has fallen off, but they have talked about being in the dog days. Like they're 40 to day 60 here.
This is it, yep.
And even Ramey's been talking about like, I just don't want to, like, it's just tough. But she's staying on it because she's like, it's just so hard because you don't see the end in sight. The newness is worn off. You're like, she's like, I've got the habits down. Why do I have to keep? You know what I mean? So
no, you don't have that. No, you don't.
You don't have them down. It's
because that voice is starting to talk to you.
Yep.
Yeah,
the voice is coming in. It's creeping its way into your mind, saying, "Oh, you're good. You're good."
Yeah. No. You can feel it breathing down your neck. You're fine. Yeah, it's good.
It's warm weather.
Oh yeah,
the grills are always going.
It,
you can smell it all across the blocks.
And that's been nice. Like, we'll finish the shout outs of everybody on 75 Hard, and then shout out Turco, who was our cameraman a couple episodes ago when it was terrible. We've replaced him with Liz.
Yes.
So we got Liz behind the mic. Look at this. Operation Dad. And you got the kiddo running the thing. Not that she really has a choice. You can't see her right now, but she had ankle surgery. She's all booted up. So she really didn't have much of a choice because we could wheel her in here and tell her what to do.
Future entrepreneur, no.
That's right.
This is all free.
Free training.
Free training. This is the start. When she's running a multi-million-dollar company, she can remember. She'll be like, it was all Operation Dad.
Yep.
Running the screen.
It clicked.
Yeah, that's when I knew.
I remember my why.
That's right. I love it. So coming off a phase like that, it was a good week. It's been nice. I was talking to you at the gym about it, like staying on task with like the things and trying to, eating clean and that kind of stuff. But it's been nice to have like a break from like having to be so strict, like Thursday. But then you pay for it. Like Thursday, I took a couple kids to lunch. Went to Freddy's, got a burger and fries, and then felt terrible. Yeah. But like I was telling Adam at the gym, like it's nice to like be able to walk by something, like because I'm still just pretty much doing meat and that kind of stuff. Like, oh my gosh, there was like a fun size packet of peanut M&Ms, and I was like, oh sweet, I can like eat those while I'm sitting here. I don't have to like, because I'm not. It's not like I can't cheat on it. It's like okay, but I was telling him like the lessons learned. Like for me in the past, like
it would have been 3.
It would have been like here's a fun size. Oh, threw the whole day off. Now we better go to Taco Bell. Oh, I'm going to have to be good tomorrow. Better go to Dairy Queen tonight before bed. Oh, threw the whole day off. Better go ahead and get one last meal in at 9 o'clock. Oh, now I missed the gym because I'm so full. So it's nice to have that control from like doing it for so long. Like I can do this and then get right back on track. And we hit a baller. It's Hero Wad month, May. So that's new. I know it's new to you guys because I had the CrossFit background with being the manager there and stuff. But So our first hero wad this morning, in honor of I'm gonna butcher his name, but like Mongolisis. Yeah. So it was 1 through 10. So 1 pull up, 1 push up, 1 alternating lunge for both legs, up to 10, then a mile run, then you back down from 10. So that was 1. We're gonna start doing them on Tuesdays and Fridays now as we prep for the Murph. How'd it feel today?
About 7 going up. I called it before we started. I said, this is going to be not bad. We're going to hit 7, and that's when the break started. Like, all right, I got to catch my breath.
Yeah.
Mile run wasn't bad. I'm slow to start on a run anyway and break up all the scar tissue and all that. Coming back, I was definitely faster coming back than I was going out. And then the first set of 10, I was like, oh, this felt good. And then 9 through 5 sucked.
That's so.
And then 5 through 1, it was like, okay, I'm there.
Get it done. Yeah, that's so funny because I'm the complete opposite on a mile. Like I come out so hot. Like I look down at my watch and I'm like 7-minute pace.
Red line.
And then I'm like, I get like 4/10 of a mile in, and I'm like, and I'm like, oh my gosh, don't let it hit 10. Don't let it hit 10-minute pace. And I'm like, oh, why'd I come out at like 6:30? But come out at 6:30. No, don't say your full mile pace was 6:30. Like that's not fast. So you did it this afternoon. I'm glad you did it.
Yeah, I actually forgot until you sent that message. And I'm like, oh man, I gotta do this. Because it 7 to 10, 10 to 7. Like it was hard. My lats were just tight. Yeah. I was trying to figure out different grips just to try to like use different muscles.
We need to get like. We should have left him at the gym or something and got you those.
I gave them to him.
I didn't use them though.
Yeah.
Oh, see, those I think
I've never used them.
Those are nice.
Okay.
Because
they make a big
takes
difference.
all of that off of the hands and
maybe that's one because
saves those calluses from getting ripped. The hand grips.
My hands were fine. It's just because man, my lats.
That's funny.
I said honestly though, if it wasn't for the mile, I mean, I think you guys would have beat my time because that second coming down, like I took breaks. Because I was smoked right there.
Yeah, it's tough. But the thing with the hero wads is like it's hard because like I read the story like the morning or whatever before you do them, and you're doing it in honor of like these were these guys' workouts that they like to do at camp or whatever. Yeah. But then they end up giving the ultimate sacrifice, and then this is like in memorial, like a way for them to be remembered. And so as I'm running, I'm like, this sucks, but like this guy died in combat, like. He gave you like it's just a workout. But like it's cool to have the ability to get to do these things, and it changes your mindset between just being like, oh, and they're all just suck factor workouts. Like that is the point of all of them. Like it's not like, oh, we're gonna do this to increase aerobic capacity today. We're gonna increase our pull-ups. It's like no, 105 or 110 pull-ups is a lot.
Yeah.
So I like the suck factor. It's gonna be good for us to add it in, especially in this phase where we get this break. Because I was telling Vince, like, I couldn't imagine doing these workouts during, like, 75 harder phases because there's so much that goes after it.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, it was nice not having to go do that second workout tonight. Like, just relax. Again, though, I'm regretting the 3-mile run yesterday and saying, let's do this.
Yeah. Well, this wouldn't have counted because it wasn't unless I guess we could have walked after it was all said and done.
If you count, like, the warm-up and,
I guess,
stuff after, but it wouldn't have been 45 minutes.
Beforehand.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking a lot about that mid-singular cortex in the Huberman podcast about this, because, I mean, something like this even is going to grow some of that, because when you're used to a regimen of a workout, your body acclimates to those kinds of different things. So, like, when you put something else on top of that, like, your body's like, what are you doing to me? You know?
Especially us that are more powerlifting, not as much aerobic activity. And when you're doing this and you're doing it for time, so you're trying to get it as fast as you can, that heart rate goes from, 120 where we're normally at to like 150, 170. You're like, holy cow.
Yeah. And shout out Craig, 32 pounds down, crushing it. He did the whole workout. Like, he did awesome.
Yeah.
Like, Vince and I were like, thought it was just going to be us. Craig showed up and he's like, yeah. And I was like, hey, we got a good one today. And he's like, oh, I saw on Instagram. I know what we're doing. But he still showed up.
Yeah,
man, good job, Craig. Great.
Yeah, he crushed it.
That's
Can't
awesome.
bash Blake because he wasn't here. We can bash Cody.
Yeah, we can bash
Cody.
But Cody said in the group chat, no, I'm not going to be there.
Was he a puke?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, it was awesome. So excited for those hero wads. I'll start posting them on the Operation Dad the nights before. So if anybody wants to do them the next day, we can. So it was awesome. So love it. Any things you guys overcame this week? Things that you used, the tools, things we've learned to kind of overcome some stuff?
I've actually kind of had some little epiphanies of just differentiating between discipline and motivation a lot. Andy had talked about in his Q&A about I've spent a lot of my time in life, like I've kind of patted myself on the back a little bit with discipline, but like the more I think about it, it's all been about a self of motivation. I try to find ways to motivate. I'm not really maybe as disciplined as what I thought I was, which actually has me second guessing some of the literature that I've been typing for because that's what I'm working on. Yeah. So I've actually reread some of the stuff that I've wrote. I still got it, and I'm obviously going to like resetting of that, but I'm really trying to take it to the last probably 2 or 3 pages and incorporating some of that stuff that he had talked about, in that Q&A, because it is so true. Because we look for motivation from somebody else instead of just being ourselves, being disciplined and executing. We don't need that don't need that song, because it's that will and that grit and that perseverance for yourself to get better. You need that, instill that discipline, and it's just the repetitiveness of doing, turning the first form cans at the gas station. Yep. It's putting the dish from the sink to the dishwasher. It's those little things that you have to incorporate in your daily life. That's going to, like, you're sitting there laying in bed, like, what motivation do I need? You need the discipline to wake up on that first alarm, to get your clothes, laid out the night before, so you can just hit the ground running, and it's just like, man, that really convicted me a lot whenever he was talking about that a lot.
Yeah, motivation will get you started, but it's the discipline that keeps you going.
Yeah, it's on the it's on the wall at the gym. Like, motivation gets you started, but habit is what keeps you going. Like once it becomes a habit. And I was thinking too, like with the tools, I watch the kids on Monday or Tuesday every week, and so I get them all day. And through these 75 hard and this phase 1 and reading these books and thinking about Operation Dad and things, it like causes me, like when you're intentional about something. Like when we strive to be intentional about parenting or intentional about our marriage or intentional about whatever it is, like there's a newfound, like, I guess, pressure or like, I guess just like opening of your eyes to like, how am I operating? So like when Asher wants to do something, like now I'm thinking like, okay, got to put the phone down, like, and go do this. Or like when he's saying he wants something and it's like, he can't have that. Like, how am I interacting in that discussion with a 3-year-old?
Right.
Like, and so like the other day was funny. Addie needed to go to sleep, was crying. Asher, I was like, I'm going to go rock Addie. Asher's like, I got to go poop. Like, I'll just let Addie cry. I'm like, oh my gosh, everything's falling apart. And then Asher was like, being a 3-year-old, it wasn't, and he wanted to stay in the bathroom. And I was like, we're done. Like, wiped him, washed his hands. He was like trying to stay in there. And I was like, we're going. And he just screams at me, like, no, I'm staying in here. And I was like, ooh, like 6 months ago? Like, I don't know what the reaction would have been. But it was like, here's an opportunity to, like, you got to discipline. And so I was like, you do not talk to Dad like that. And it was like, he was just like, looked at me. I didn't like grab him or, you know what I mean? I was just like pointed at him, and he was like, whole expression changed. And then he like started crying. And then I was like, okay, now there was the truth. Like, he understood he's in trouble. Now I wanted to take the time and explain what he did wrong while the 8-month-old's crying. But I'm like, she's alive. She's okay. Like, and so explain to him, like, why did you get in trouble? He's like, I made you mad. I'm like, I wasn't mad. Like, you weren't listening. Like, what did you do? He's like, I yelled at you. Okay, good. Like, and we do not yell. Like, why did you want to stay in the bathroom? I wanted to play. Well, we can't play right now. Like, and explain it. And then I was like, you need to say you're sorry. And he's like, I'm sorry. And I was like, I forgive you. And then as a 3-year-old, he was like, I forgive you. And I was like, I didn't do anything wrong. Well, I was like, all right, good, thanks, I'm forgiven. But I think those little moments of like, okay, how can these be impactful? Because some of them just fly by, and that, there's chaos and there's things, but there's an opportunity, like, I can take 5 minutes and do this and let her cry, because there wasn't anything else pressing. It wasn't like we were in a parking lot or something, But it was like those habits of like, I want him to know as he gets older, like, this is how we communicate, and this is how we, even from 3.
Right.
And so it was just like, okay, here's an opportunity. And those things have like, my eyes have been open to that because of all the stuff we've been doing. Like, how does this correlate, not just for my self-discipline, but how does this correlate into my kids and my family and my marriage?
Yeah, because it goes beyond just what we're doing. I mean, you have to take that stuff with you and apply it to your everyday life, to your family, to your marriage, like you said, because Pearson had to see an accident as well, tried hiding it. I could tell because there was a couple little pieces of evidence that I'd found, and so we had a conversation about it. Same thing, I got on him, and like he doesn't like whenever I'm in his face talking to him in a kind of a stern, and he, alligator tears came down.
Yeah.
And so like after we were done, I said, because our biggest thing with him is stop hiding this stuff, because that will turn into a habit that could get a lot worse later on. And it's like, so I try to explain to him these types of situations where you're going to, one, get either in no trouble or less trouble if you just tell us you had an accident. And so then he understood. Aria the next day had actually had an accident herself because they were playing hide. Shout out Aria, because she wanted to win so bad. She literally peed her pants so she couldn't get found. But so she,
in her defense, I peed my pants at 13 trying to play a hide and seek game, and I won. But it was worth it.
Yeah. She's just gonna sit there and just.
Oh wait, Pearson had an accident. Aria had an accident. Liz, you got your ankle. Have you had any accidents lately? That's good. All right. Just making sure the 17-year-old wasn't 16-year-old.
Those pain pills.
Yeah, pain pills get you all backed up.
That's so funny.
You're
either going to teach Pearson and he's going to stop hiding it, or you're going to make him like the greatest, the greatest like hider of evidence ever.
Yeah. But no, so we had the conversation with Aria, and I said, "Now, Pearson, do you see? Aria fessed up to the fact she had an accident, and she's not. Am I yelling at her? Is she in trouble?" She's like, "No." I go, "So see, you need to let us know when you have an accident, because we can then either just brush it off, depending on what it is, or if this one needs to come about, then we'll take care of it then."
But man, that's good, because like Ari's older, so like it is frustrating. But we see why she was trying to win the game, respect, competition, But had your reaction been to get her in trouble for doing that, then Pearson sees that and he's like, "I'm gonna get in trouble either way.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I'm gonna keep hiding this thing. I'm like, So that's good.
Yeah. So awesome. It was definitely and you just don't realize just how much of an impact you have on kids. Like whenever you're acting a certain way, because Elizabeth could definitely, if she came around here and talked to the mic, she could probably talk about me when she first met me at 3 until she's not coming, until what she sees now. So it's like it really is a big deal.
I just have one question for Liz, and it's not on the mic, so I have to relay it. But was Adam, has he gotten softer?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, did you used to be scared of him? No? Okay.
She says in the quietest voice.
Have you seen his, communication and parenting style change over time?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. In what she says, okay. In, what way would you describe that?
I think then I was more, he was more stern, discipline-wise, but then now he, communicates, and seeing him follow through with all of his health and training and everything like that, you understand where he's coming from and the discipline, where that comes from.
I like it. That was a great answer from a high schooler. She said that, early on he's stern in his communication, but now you see the reason behind his communication. He communicates what he's expecting, and then you see it lived out in the way that he follows through with what he says and the things that he does.
So were you still in the Army when you and Kelsey got together?
Yes.
Yeah. So how much do you think that experience rubbed off on your discipline on kids?
You walked into a 3-year-old.
Yeah, so she was just turned 3, and that was just how it was. That's how you communicated that way, and that was just, and I answered those types of ways, when I got talked to that way. So I thought, well, everyone's like me, so guess what I'm going to do? The exact same way, because it works. You know what? It doesn't work. And I've learned, even with any of them, I have to put myself in their shoes. It's not about me getting them to come to my level sometimes. Sometimes I need to go down to their level and understand exactly where it is they're coming from. And just kind of being more of, in a sense of, well, yeah, I remember being 16. That was 25 years ago. and things have obviously changed. I'm not this person, and so like it's just weird to.
But man, I'm old.
Yeah, it's hard when you do the math. It's like, oh wow, yeah, it is. But yeah, it's just you got to put yourself in their shoes because it's just you can't. You got to be on their level to understand fully what it is that they're experiencing.
Mm-hmm. It's good. How about you?
No.
Dang. Well, I was thinking about like what you said about coming down to their level. Like it, for me, like in youth ministry or parenting or whatever. Like you got to remember that like the things that they're going through, they've never dealt with before. So like when a kid, like I always use this example, right? When a teenager goes through a breakup and they're like all upset and like it's the end of the world. To us who've had multiple breakups or now happily married, all that stuff, it's like this isn't a big deal. But then you have to recognize that, like, for that kid, that could be the worst thing that has ever happened to them in their life.
And that is the worst thing that probably has happened.
And so they don't know how to process the worst thing that's happened. Or then there may be a kid who lost a parent, and it's like, that's the worst thing. But in the same way, that kid that got broken up with doesn't know what the alternative feels like. They only know that this is the worst thing to ever happen to me.
Yeah, and that's good.
And so instead of being like, it's a breakup, get over it. It's like, okay, well, it's grieving, like you got, and getting on their level and being like, okay, I understand. Because some it could be a breakup, others it could be I got a C on a test, and that's the worst thing that's ever happened to me. And you're like, that's really not a big deal. But you can't say that to a kid, to anybody, like even a child. It's like for Asher, a toy breaking is the worst thing that's ever happened to him. So, like what you said, like getting on their level and being like, okay. To me, I have the ability to process this differently than someone that age.
That's good. I didn't think about that.
I love it. Perfect. All right. Well, this week we're not on any phases. We don't have any words. We're basically just a bunch of lazy bums.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a bunch of deadbeat dads. Just not on a phase, not doing anything. No, that's not true. But thought this would be a good day to kind of dive into some questions that we've got over time. So. Anybody that's had questions, I pulled a couple from social media and stuff. But if you guys want to start, if you had any questions that you've come across, Vince, no, you didn't have any.
No.
The first one that I was going to ask from Instagram was this: so how do you find balance between yourself, like what you want to achieve, like your own ambitions, versus balancing the ambitions of your family?
For me, it's that forward thinking, backwards planning mindset. I think I had a conversation with somebody about it not too long ago. You got God, my marriage, my family, work, and then the miscellaneous stuff. So depending on, like when Kelsey went back to school, she went back to school for like 2 years roughly, and through that time, I was doing the 75 hard twice. And so, like, trying to be Mr. Mom, because I took on a lot of the extra responsibilities due to what she needed from me to mainly focus on her school. I knew it was a season. And I also knew that as long as I prioritized my time, that I knew I had to get rid of a lot of extra stuff. There was a lot more no saying than yes. And it's hard for me to say no to people, because I'm just one of them people that likes to help and just be in those situations where I can be. I guess sometimes it's good to feel wanted, and I just had to do a lot of no saying, and really focus more on her objective, because again, that objective was going to allow us possibly to have something a little bit more later on. So I guess it's just more of die to self, allow yourself to see what it is that focus may be on within your family. But know that also whenever that time comes for you to take care of yourself, you can't really waste the opportunities with the time you do get. You really got to be intentional about your time and where you apply all your priorities.
That's good.
Yeah, balance. Mine's always family first. I sacrifice my time for the betterment of the family. So I'm up at 3:30, 4 o'clock to go to the gym then, instead of doing it at 4 or 5 o'clock during dinner and all that stuff. So, and then, like on the weekends, if we have the kids, if little one's napping, that's my time to get out and do whatever, or go out again before 9 o'clock, because most of the kids sleep till 9, 10 o'clock. So, yeah,
I just sleep till 9 or 10.
Not the little one.
Oh, I was gonna say.
No,
oh my goodness!
We have to wake the teenagers.
Yeah, okay, I get that. I was like, the little one sleeps till 9. I was like, you have an angel child.
No, he's an early bird like me.
Okay, cool.
6 o'clock.
I was like, all right. I was gonna denote you from all the challenges. I'm gonna make it simple. You get everything done before 9.
No. No, but I that's just me. If I gotta stay up late, I stay up late, but still make sure I'm up early to get my stuff done before.
Yeah, I think for me it's an area to work. Like I think Rami and I have gotten better about communicating and like finding out the things that are important to her to be sure she has time to do.
Yeah.
Because it is selfish to be like, well, this is important, and like the thing she wants to do to say isn't important is wrong. Like they're important to her.
Right.
And so I think it goes back to like getting on their level and looking at it like holistically, because right now we don't have kids that are doing things, but there's going to come a time where Asher's got school and sports or whatever he's going to do, and Addie will be in those, and so then there's more to juggle. So where's the priority? What's the green light? Those kind of things that we've talked about. It's good. The next question is, if you could add anything to phase 1 as a critical task for 30 days, what would you add?
Man, already a lot.
I guess the question was kind of posed is from the terms of like you have to add 3 critical tasks, and we just took ones differently each day.
Yeah.
But if you're going to add one that you would do daily for 30 days, what would you put in there?
I'd have to say for me, if I had with the book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it would change though based on every time you came across phase 1. But I mean,
right.
For the sake of the question is allowing myself to be my brain to slow down long enough to complete the task, because I can't get that thing to stop moving, especially with the way that was all set up for me in my time. I had to do all the exercise and stuff first, whereas like now that we're done, I've got so much more devotional time in. I've gotten so much more just journaling in because of I don't have to worry about waking up and going to the gym. Yeah. So
to get 2 in.
Get 2 in. So I guess mainly it would have been the lot more fingers to the keyboard, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'd say journaling.
Okay.
Journaling was one. I mean, it helps. Just for me, it helped get everything out and not stress Kelsey out or stress the kids out, or because she has her issues at work and whatnot, and so for me to come home and dump all of my stuff on her just compounds that, and like it was just easier for me to lay down in bed at the end of the night and just everything I was thinking just plug it away, and I'm like, oh, I'm good now.
It becomes like a strainer. Like the things that still trickle through, you can share with her, and but like then you're not giving her like everything. Like and they were out of the sweet chili beef stick that I wanted. I can just go there.
Yeah. I think journaling would probably be the one.
That's
good. I would say prayer or calling a family member every day were the ones that I would add. And I was thinking like phase 3 or whatever. I don't know. I haven't looked ahead, but if we have to add critical tasks, I'm like, I'll probably add like call my sister or call a family member or something. Or like pray every day. Like it's not a critical task. Like I do that, but like I was like that would be a good one to add for people to begin that routine. So it's good. All right, I got 2 more, but I'll let you jump in with yours.
One of the questions I got from Shabbing was, he just couldn't quite understand what was the big deal with the progress pictures. So he asked me, how really important is the daily progress pictures, and so I guess the question would pose to the listeners is, I guess if we explain exactly the importance of why it is you should take the progress pictures on a daily basis.
I'll let Vince start.
Because I think the biggest thing is the discipline, just to make sure it's a minor thing, but doing it I still do them.
Yeah.
Like I just wake up and it's just part of, like, as I'm getting ready for the gym, it's just a habit now. But when they get to those dog days, whether it be week 3 or week 6, where you're just like, we see it on the groups. I'm not losing any weight. I'm not doing this. I just don't feel anything. Go back and look at your day 1 picture. You may not have lost any weight, but I guarantee that you do not look the same as what you did when you started. And that's my big takeaway from it. Just go back and look.
And I'll add to that because I think people would argue like, well, I can take one a week and see the difference. Like week to week. Like if I take one at the beginning and then I take one on day 40, I'll be able to see the difference. Mine is like along with that, but different. Like it sucks. Like if you are doing this because you don't like the way you look or you're embarrassed or you're insecure, like having to look in the mirror and take a progress picture every day is not easy. Like that sucks. Like, and so especially at the start or even at the end, because you're like, I'm still not where I want to be, right? Like it's that part of like building that self-esteem and that confidence to see my body is changing. I'm taking a progress picture every day. As much as I hate it, I hate taking off my shirt, I hate taking a picture in the mirror, like that kind of stuff. Like that is another discipline in sharpening your mind to be able to be comfortable with who you are in this moment, because we can't wait until we've arrived to become the best version of ourselves physically, right? I can't wait until I'm happy with the way I look to be a leader. Like that stuff can start today. Your mind can transform quickly if you can tell yourself to do things. So I think the progress picture again is just this like sharpening your mentality around who you are and being like, all right, I'm not where I want to be, but that doesn't stop me from accomplishing what I need to accomplish today. And so, I think it goes back to that self-esteem, that gratefulness, that, all those things. The progress picture makes you check in. Yeah. I got to check in.
It's also exposing your weakness.
Oh, yeah.
Like, most people aren't doing this for here as much as they are everything else. This is
it could be way worse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know the guy, but, like, I'm thinking, like, funny stuff here. Like, it could be way worse. He could have put in your 45-minute walk outdoors has to be shirtless. That would be horrible. I'd be like, I'm not doing 75 hard.
The old Bert Kreischer.
Yeah, I'd be like, I don't need to trip over my saggy stomach skin. That's good. So, I think that's the answer.
It's just, I always think of a sculpture, and every time, when you take those progress pictures, you're just chipping away at the armor of just whatever little sculpture you're trying to mold yourself into, because obviously you made all these poor choices. I mean, it's just human nature and it's fact, because you got to this point in your life because of the choices that you made. And when you look at yourself in the mirror, that was you that did that, not you, not anyone. You made those choices for yourself to get you to the point to where you're at. And at some point, you have to look at yourself that same mirror and let yourself know, I need to change, and this is what I have to do. I have to take a picture every single stinking day, because at the end of the 75 days, compared to your day one, you're going to see improvement.
Yeah.
And that catapults that whole entire journey up.
Let's go!
I saw a quote today that talked about a man in change is not only the marble, but also the sculptor. I was like, yep.
Brother, I love it. Brother Tuesday. Oh, now we're going to go viral just because we hit sketch. I love it. So before you go, your next one, the one that somebody put on Facebook was this. Just finished 75 hard. Don't know if they want to do phase 1, but what would you do next after 75 hard?
Without doing phase 1?
Without doing phase 1. Like, what's the next steps after coming off 75 hard that you would tell someone?
I would ask them, what was your biggest struggle during all that? And then whatever that particular struggle would be, I would say then that I would try to challenge yourself and to continue that particular thing to move yourself forward. Because like between leg strength and writing, those are weaknesses of mine that I have, and I'm trying to like do everything I can, because I'm only as strong as my biggest, my strength is my biggest weakness. So I've got to incorporate that for whatever next 75 days, challenge yourself 30 days, whatever you do.
Yeah, pretty similar. I mean, just like you said, find what you were weakest in and attack that part. And if it's not any of those, I mean, those 5 critical tasks, maybe there's something else in your life that is, lacking. Okay, well then take that focused energy from 75 hard and focus it on this. So maybe your love life struggled because you were out focusing on yourself to do this. Good. Now take that energy from here and focus it towards your wife or girlfriend or whatever, and see how that changes.
Yeah, it's really good. I would say, like, after coming off 75 hard, you have had to have learned time management for 3.5 months. So take an inventory of like what your schedule looks like in the most sacred part of my day is my schedule, like my daily time, like my daily routine. Like that's my non-negotiables. Like 5 a.m. gym, 6 a.m. time with Addie, 7 a.m. get to the office, do that. Like, so whatever that looks like, putting those disciplines into your day where they're set. Just because you're off of 75 hard doesn't have to change. You know, you don't have to go back to who you were before. So finding ways to implement the disciplines and the tools learned, and then I think adding on what you guys said, finding the areas of your weakness that maybe were neglected during 75 hard that you can now have this time and now work them in with the same tools and the time management that you learn to be able to accomplish 75 hard.
That's good. Yeah, because I like yours too. That is so true.
Yeah,
that's so true. One of the other questions I got was more business. It was the Operation Dad. Someone that kind of through text we were kind of talking, and because I was just kind of throwing some things out that we were on the verge of either thinking about or we had started, and they popped the question of what is the whole purpose behind Operation Dad, and like what are, I know we've talked about the vision and the mission, but like what are our steps that we want to see ourselves in this time in 6 months to a year?
It's a great question.
It was a good question. But I
like it.
Because I just figured it's the time to really kind of explain to
and to the listeners, we haven't really talked about this.
Yeah, it's a good question to bring up here. So our biggest thing is we just want to, I guess, build a better generation of dads.
Mm-hmm.
We talked when we first started of be the dad that you needed when you were, some guys may have thought they had great dads, and that's great.
So be that dad.
Yeah, exactly. Be that guy. Yeah. But if you didn't, I didn't have the best biological dad.
Right.
So I made sure I did everything in my power to not be what he was.
Mm-hmm.
And then so we're just trying to mold better people through faith and mental wellness, physical wellness, anything we can.
Yeah, and I think when you're talking about the business side, like 6 months to a year, like the whole reason we're so transparent with listeners is we want to create and document how we do this. And so for us, I think going obviously the podcast is a part of what we want this to be. And so it could be 6 months, a year, 3 years, but we want to create a family or a group of dads that are, their mission is to become better and impact the dads and the children around them. And so in that, we want to provide value through the podcast, through the book we're writing, through being able to go and speak and get to know dads and be able to, not coach them, but get to hear their stories and talk to them and give them practical things they can do. And because we all represent such different backgrounds.
Yeah.
And so we all have this unique ability to you can connect with somebody in a way that I can't, Adam. Vince can connect with somebody in a way that Adam and I can't. And so finding those dads that don't necessarily know how to take the steps but want to, and coming together as a community and being this is what we want to do, and build that to where now this isn't just a small group. It's you got an Operation Dad in in every area where we've got Fort Myers represented, we've got Columbus. When we go there to work out or do whatever on vacation, it's hey, Operation Dad's here, and you can meet and talk and be this is my struggle, this is this. Be able to build that community, I think, is ultimately what we want. And so speaking 6 months, we're all very on board with the Arnold is the catapult, because it's going to be an opportunity to get to meet so many people in one setting that there is nothing like that expo to be able to have the reach and just to be able to communicate with so many people in 3 days.
Yeah. Oh, men and boys, and because dads bring their summers. I mean, it's just
right. In I was talking to Mike Newhart the other day, and he was asking why the Arnold, why is that a big deal? And I was because the fitness industry is full of selfish people.
It's true.
It's all one. In the majority of people there, even think about when we go every year. It is our dad's trip, and it's time away. But in all reality, that's a selfish. It's important to take those times, but if you really break it down, it's just us getting away from our families for 3 days. So how do we? And we're not unique to that. There's lots of groups doing that. And so while they're away, being are you using this time? How are you going back? Are you going back full of supplements and psychopharma, and just jacked up and ready to go hit the gym? which is great because we all feel that way. Or are you going back and being like refreshed and ready to be a leader in your family and ready to get home and hug on your kids and kiss your wife and those things? Because what we don't want is time away from families to be like a great time. We want it to be like a refreshment, but you're ready to get back.
Yes.
Yeah, or, I mean, a reset's important.
Yes.
Yep.
You know, I mean, Kelsey could go on a weekend trip by herself if she felt like it, because I agree with that, you know?
Yeah.
Or with some ladies. Like, it's not a big deal.
But this idea that dads, like, survive 11 months out of the year so they can go on a vacation by themselves and get away, and then that's what they need to be able to come. It's like, no, that's supposed to be like a reset to come back refreshed. It shouldn't be like this thing like, don't know my purpose. Your purpose isn't to get to go on a trip.
No.
Like, your purpose isn't to go play golf in Biloxi with the boy. Like, there's things outside of that 1 week, you know. But I think sometimes, even in our lives, we live for that vacation. Mm-hmm. We live for that time when there's so much along the way that can impact us.
No, yeah, that's good.
Good. All right. The next question was, what was the hardest part of phase 1 for you?
The critical tasks, the 3 extra ones, because we all set out to do our own 3.
Yeah.
And then the fact that you couldn't, like, I wanted to stick to, the only one I did every day, 2 of them I did. I did the journaling, I did the push-ups.
Yep.
That was easy. I was at home, but, you know, when you're writing the book, you have to be in the right state of mind and this and that, and so that was the one that just kept getting pushed and kept getting pushed, and
because it was the most uncomfortable.
Well, and but it takes longer than 10 minutes to sit there and try to figure out what you want to do.
It's way easier to sit down and read 10 pages than just it probably takes about as long to read 10 pages as it does just to be like, what am I going to start?
Because I have to go back and reread to get myself in the same state of mind that I was when I was putting it down the first time to continue that flow. That's why, like, Sunday morning I woke up and like I no kids.
Yeah.
Wife was asleep. Brewed up a pot of coffee. Sat there at the computer and I knocked out words and words and words.
I had
and
to
I was
wake
like,
up at 4 a.m. to do that.
I did. That's what time I woke up.
All right, I'm gonna do that. That's awesome.
But yeah, it just
that sounds enjoyable.
I got more done, or almost as much done, on Saturday night and Sunday is what I did.
Well, every book Corey's written, he says it was written between the hours of 2 and 4.
Yeah.
Because he goes to the gym. I'm like, that's insane. If I got up at 2, I'm going to bed at 4 p.m.
Well, Monday, I was getting ready to go to work and I was doing my devotional and they called me in and told me I didn't need to come in. So that actually kind of like prepped me to even go. And I probably only got maybe a page and a half written. I still got to type it, but it's super important to get, because I'm so much more fresh. I'm so much more aware in the mornings like that when the house is completely quiet. I've got that one lamp on with my coffee, computer's on, like I can literally go somewhere else. But my hardest thing was the 10 minutes of visualization. Only because doing it the right way, I could not keep myself from going multiple places at one time.
Rubbing off on us.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, like, my visualization was tough because I just go to multiple visualization spots. I cheated it. I was like, okay, I'm at the Arnold. Oh, cool, now I'm on a stage. Oh, sweet, now we're in the gym. This is awesome. Let's do 500 pounds. Yeah, I was like, even my visualization was ADHD. I'd be like, we're on the stage. Oh, this is cool. Oh, now we're at the Arnold. Oh, cool, I'm deadlifting 500 pounds. That's sick. Oh, sweet, we're doing this. Like, it was like, oh, man, 10 minutes, and I'd been to like 47 different places.
Lived 3 different lives.
Yeah. It was all visualizing it. It was just in little bursts.
No, it was for, like I said, to do it the right way. I struggled with it hardcore. Just because I've always been that way. And that's just one of the reasons. Like, I think it's important for, like, even, you know, if Elizabeth decides to do the entrepreneur route of just focusing and staying on task, because I've never had anyone push me. I've always had thoughts and ideas, but I was always afraid, you know, to execute because I was always afraid of, like, what would be said about me. But yeah, so it was a really real struggle for me to take the time, and that's why I made that vision board.
You worried about the haters?
Oh yeah, I was.
Phoebe Eldridge. No, I'm just kidding. We got haters. We'll talk. We'll let them know.
Yeah. So I mean, that was probably the hardest because I got used to cold plunges. The tasks did change, but they weren't anything.
We know you're.
Yeah,
I got it. That was easy.
Yeah, that was so easy. On a Tuesday when we got done with the podcast, I went to bed, and Wednesday morning we got home from the gym, and I went to go take a shower. And normally I just turn it on and jump in, and I turned it on. I went to jump in, and I was like, wait, I'm gonna wait a minute. They're gonna be warm. It's nice. And then I was like, then at the end of it, you know what I did? Turned it all the way to cold for 30 seconds because I was like, it felt weird to take a hot shower.
I've missed 2 days since. I've
ended every shower with cold. Okay. I haven't done 5 minutes, but I've ended every shower with cold. So, but I still don't like it.
Day 79 today.
I'm gonna it's all gonna fit. You're gonna lose it in the summer when the ice barrel's 100 degrees.
Nope.
How long are you gonna do it? Forever?
I don't know.
It's pretty nice.
It's pretty awesome. Today, it had to feel awesome after that workout. Then he went under. Yeah. I got him to go under.
You change the water though.
Yeah,
it's a little murky.
You say it was a little.
Yeah, it's nice. It's not as bad as last summer when we opened it that one time and it smelled like a swamp. It was that was drain it, take it to the car wash, get everything ready to go.
When we were only using it once a week.
Oh yeah.
Now we got the two guys. It's this morning was nice because the two guys came in and they expel a lot more water. Mm-hmm. They're bigger. So I had to put the fresh water in. So it was a little cold this morning with that fresh water.
It's good.
But Kelsey's got that ice machine, man. I just keep making bags and bags and bags.
Nice. Well, that's what we were talking about too. In the summer, there's all those ice stands. It's $3 for a bunch. When you just go fill 5-gallon buckets for $6, which is the cost of one little bag of ice.
Yeah.
So you just gotta find a place to store it.
Yeah, we should I could probably just invest in a giant freezer.
I
don't know. I'm between do we get a deep freeze or do I get a water heater? The water heater blew out at the gym this morning. So,
yeah, that was a fun surprise.
Yeah, that's what I did all afternoon. Pulled everything out. It just kept going. Then I went and got a carpet cleaner because I needed to suck the water out of the carpet. But hey, 6 months ago probably would have affected me. But I'm like, you know what? It's fine. That was not what I had on the schedule today. But hey, it became a critical task and took care of it. And found a new one. Tyler's gonna come look and see if he can help put it in.
Shouldn't be too hard.
It was $580 or something like that. It's gonna be shorter, so we are gonna have to get the things.
Yeah.
But it's just part of the deal. Part of owning a business. You own everything. You gotta, when things break and it sucks. And you've got funds. It's like that constant battle, right? You've got funds that you want to go put towards stuff to renovate, but then you gotta get ready to do that, and then something breaks and you gotta replace it.
Yep.
So replacements overtake renovations in that sense. But you gotta have hot water. And I've had 2 people message me today. The hot water's not working in the girls' room, in the sink. And I was like, well, thanks for letting me know, but here's the deal. So they were cool about it. But I do like people letting me know that it's not working.
Right. Yeah.
One was like, I hope there's not a leak under the building. And I was like, oh, it's not under the building. It was 2 inches of water in the closet, but it's out now. So
yeah, better to let you know than be blasting it on Facebook. Oh, this crap.
Yeah, the hot water won't work. Well,
I would already say the same thing. Oh, the gym's terrible. He doesn't
blast me,
water,
blast me on Facebook. Blast me on Facebook. I'll get my buddy Kendrick Lamar right to check about you. Yeah, I'll put you on the roast of Tom Brady. You'll get roasted.
Woo! That's a good one.
Yeah, that was
good.
So.
Definitely we talked about that one, but the E next to this one.
Yeah, it's a rough roast. So.
That's probably one of the more
roastier
ones.
Yeah, it was
sure.
It was brutal, but
hey,
so.
You know what you signed up for.
Yeah, for sure. So
you got him.
Well, keep the questions rolling in. We'll be able to cover those each week. But I think staying on track, we got the Murph coming up. If you're in the Central Illinois area, May 27th at 9 a.m., that's Memorial Day. We'll be hitting the Murph together.
Watch it be 90 degrees that day.
Oh, so when we did it at CrossFit, I used to go to CrossFit. They did it every year. I think I went 2 years ago, and it was 93 degrees at 9 a.m. in the morning on Memorial Day. It was horrible. They were drink a lot of water, blah, blah, blah. I couldn't believe it. It was 9 a.m. is supposed to be cool. It was hot. But,
it'll be the curse like the Bagel Fest curse when they do the bagel run.
Dude,
every year we're
now we do, now the curse is returned for the battle for the bagel. It's been 100 degrees at 5 o'clock the last 2 years for the battle for the bagel. In the first year, learning curve, right? We got the bench press sitting out there under the band shell. And I put it in the shade. Well, at 5 a.m., the sun starts to move. and I didn't put a towel over the bench press. The first guy to go up to bench lays on the thing, and he's like, "Ha!" The black bench press was like so hot when he laid back. I was like, "All right, we gotta get a towel. And we gotta put a towel." So then the next year we put a towel over it. Kept it
no
nice.
smelling salts for that one.
No, it was good. So yeah, I think we're excited about the things coming up. If you're in the Mattoon area, we'll have Operation Dad at Bagel Fest. Come try out the challenge, all that good stuff. We got lots of stuff coming down the pipe for us. So appreciate you guys listening. Appreciate all the support. Share the show.
Share it.
Send it to your friends. Send it to your dads. Send it to a dad that needs to hear it. Yes. Send it to a dad that's doing everything. Mm-hmm. Tell them good job. So appreciate you guys. We will be back next week with episode 20. Peace.